is trash pickup.
I wasn't going by what you had before.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it up to the...
I see. Okay, thank you.
So, Mr. Williams, you heard that there is there are a number of issues that the board is concerned with, and there isn't necessarily consensus at this point among the board members. Considering what you've heard, is it worth going through the brain damage to get a consensus, or are you not inclined to where are you at in those comments? Would you like to address any of them? Would you like to discuss any of them? Or do you want me to try to get some consensus to kind of make an offer to you?
Yeah, I'd like, we heard our position on 12:30. Now it's 12 o'clock. I think that's within the range that the applicant would probably want around. I would have to have a more definitive statement on the limitation on bar space, bar stools. I can see the issue with the roof. I think that 9 o'clock closing the roof is a little bit early, especially when it's beautiful out and it's the weekend. Maybe the board could, amongst themselves here, decide whether or not that's a reasonable time. Basically, right in the middle of somebody's dining, and now going to have to close the roof.
Could we make it conditional on a noise study?
There's no way to predict. I would like to say that one of the biggest suggestions
shadow
we had
studies,
is
we do traffic studies, we do, I would think that we would be able to try and get some knowledge here to make a fair decision and be consistent without being discriminatory.
Something that
I certainly am not a noise expert, so I don't want to.
Something that would assist the council is that the state noise policy distinguishes between daytime and nighttime. And the daytime noise levels are 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and the nighttime noise levels are 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. And the noise at 10 p.m., the allowable noise levels drop significantly. So from a policy perspective, if the council wanted to restrict when the retractable roof would close, it would make sense to close it at or directly before 10 p.m.
I'd also like to say that when we heard the application for the bowling alley bar, one of the largest concerns that this board had, I believe, and the public had, was the mere idea of a rooftop bar. And we've effectively turned this entire establishment, if you open the roof, into one ground level rooftop bar.
Yeah, but I think the difference though is the height. So when you have the height elevated, then the noise will flow.
So the noise is 10 feet lower, 30 feet lower, whatever. I can't support an opening roof.
Well, one thing I'm wondering here, as we're all trying to be noise experts, is if we built a higher exterior, would that cave in the noise? I mean, there's lots of possibilities, and Stefan's the only engineer here on the board, I think. So I just don't want to be discriminatory rather than, and not have all the facts. So that was very helpful to me that the state restricts it at 10. What I'd like to get some more information is exactly what kind of noise decibel in decibels this roof is going to cause, and see something. Is that something that is that a fair and legitimate question before we make a decision, or I mean, what is it compared to?
Well, based on you can't compare it to an old, basically as you know.
The only example that was up was a 100-woman
from
affair at the Kellogg Club.
From a mechanical perspective, just like with air conditioning, you can retrofit a roof. I assume, just like you can retrofit an air conditioner to make it more and more and more quiet. It costs more money. I expect the planning board will restrict that.
Are you suggesting that even with the roof closed, the nature of this material might be such that this establishment would emanate a lot of noise, even with the roof closed?
I have no idea how much noise will be generated with the roof closed. Similar to all the other restaurants in town.
Except this roof is one sheet of metal, I guess, insulated in some way.
And while there have been concerns about the cost of enforcing a noise ordinance, I think it's the town's responsibility to enforce it if it is a problem, and they shouldn't deny an application or severely restrict an application because of a fear of noise because they don't want to enforce the noise ordinance. I don't think that would really stand in court as an appeal.
Well, I think we have to go through each one of these conditions and try to develop that consensus.
So
That's
just,
why
okay, so
I think I need a
Let's
glass
start
of
with,
water before we
I'd
start.
like to, I actually could use the ladies' room, but it's gonna take a while, but otherwise,
Mr. Webster, maybe you and I could narrow down where we are at this and maybe come
That'd
to
be
some
great.
consensus.
I'm looking for some help.
So can we, can I make a suggestion? We'll take a break, you two talk about what we've come up with, what you might agree with, and we'll bring that back.
That's a great idea.
Okay. 10 minutes?